Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-aliyyil azim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Allahumma akhrijni min dhulumat al-wahm wa akrimni bi nur al-fahm. Allahumma aftah alayna abwaab rahmatik wa anshur alayna khaza'in ulumik bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of Aqaid al-Imamiyya by late Sheikh Mudaffar, rahmatullah alayh. In this session, we talk about Article 42, Aqidatuna fi haqq al-Muslim ala al-Muslim, our belief about the rights of Muslims over each other. This is very beautiful discussion and very much needed, especially today when we have Muslims in all different parts of the world, and they have come many times out of their traditional communities. They live together, but they may be speaking different languages, they may have different cultural backgrounds, they may even belong to different denominations. They need to know how important it is to overcome all these differences and remain as brothers and sisters. It's very important. This is not something marginal. This is not something recommended. This is very much related to the core of faith. This is a foundation among different foundations of faith. So he says, إن من أعظم وأجمل ما دعا إليه الدين الإسلامي هو التآخي بين المسلمين على اختلاف طبقاتهم ومراتبهم ومنازلهم. One of the greatest and the most beautiful things that Islamic religion has called to is brotherhood among Muslims, despite their differences in generations, in levels, in social positions, and so on and so forth. كما أن من أوضع وأخص ما صنعه المسلمون اليوم وقبل اليوم هو تسامحهم بالأخذ بمقتضيات هذه الأخوة الإسلامية. In a similar way, one of the worst things that Muslims have done today and before is that they have unfortunately compromised about the implications of Islamic brotherhood. They have not really taken this concept on board and acted upon it and taken it as a priority. لأن من أيسر مقتضياتها كما سيجيء في كلمة الإمام الصادق عليه السلام أن يحب لأخيه المسلم ما يحب لنفسه ويكره له ما يكره لنفسه. Because one of the lowest and easiest requirements of this brotherhood, as Imam Sadiq alayhi salam has explained, and inshallah we will see later in his hadith to Mu'alla ibn Khunais, Imam says that the least of these rights is to love for his brother what he loves for himself, and to dislike for his brother what he dislikes for himself. The golden rule in ethics that you find it in all ethical schools, considered to be the minimum requirement of brotherhood. أنعم النظر وفكر في هذه الخصلة اليسيرة في نظر آل البيت عليهم السلام. Keep thinking, look deeply at this issue, which is something as simple a step towards brotherhood in the teachings of Ahlul Bayt. And although it is very simple and the least, according to Ahlul Bayt, فَسَتَجِدُ أَنَّهَا مِنْ أَشَقِّ مَا يُفْرَضْ طَلَبُهُ مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِ. But it's one of the greatest and the most difficult thing that you can ask Muslim today to establish. It's very difficult for them. وهم على مثل هذه الأخلاق الموجودة عندهم البعيدة عن روحية الإسلام. When the Ummah in general, of course there are exceptions, but in general, with the situation that we have and the traits of characters that exist, it's very difficult to reach this point, unfortunately. Especially because now the modern trend is individualism. And people even inside their families think about their individualistic interests maybe more than interests of family, let alone community, let alone humanity. فكر في هذه الخصلة لو قدر للمسلمين أن ينصفوا أنفسهم ويعرفوا دينهم حقا ويأخذوا بها فقط أن يحب أحدهم لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. If Muslims were supposed to be fair and know their religion properly, and just take this step to love for your brother what you love for yourself, and dislike for your brother what you dislike for yourself. لما شاهدت من أحد ظلما ولا اعتداء. You would not have seen any injustice happening, any invasion happening. ولا سرقة ولا كذبا ولا غيبة ولا نميمة. You would not have seen any theft, any lying, any backbiting, gossiping, false accusation, ولا تهمة بسوء, ولا قدحا بباطل, ولا إهانة, ولا تجبرا. Falsely accusing each other, humiliating, trying to overcome, you will not see anything. Alhamdulillah, rain is coming, and we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this time to improve the condition of ourselves and our community and Muslim Ummah and humanity, inshallah, to the best way, which is what He is expecting from us, inshallah. May Allah, inshallah, give shafa to all people who are ill. May Allah, inshallah, give shafa to illnesses that we have in our heart and mind and body, inshallah. Bala. إن المسلمين لو وقفوا لإدراك أيسر خصال الأخوة فيما بينهم. It is written وقفوا. It could be also وفقوا, depending whether it was a mistaken typing or not. If Muslims were able to understand, or if Muslims were successful and had tawfiq to understand what the easiest thing that Imam Sadiq is saying, just to love for your brother what you want for yourself, dislike for your brother what you don't like for yourself. لارتفع الظلم والعدوان من الأرض. Not only they would not have done zulm to each other, and zulm would have disappeared from among Muslims, even we can say if Muslims were able to observe this could be a good example for others, and maybe we would have no zulm all over the world. وَلَرَأَيْتَ الْبَشَرَ إِخْوَانًا عَلَى سُرُرٍ مُتَقَابِلٍ. You would see Bashar in this world be like inhabitants of heaven. And when the Quran describes them, that they are like brothers sitting on the beds or sofas facing each other. There is no ghil, no hatred in their hearts. قد كملت لهم أعلى درجات السعادة الاجتماعية. The highest levels of social felicity and happiness would have happened for them. ولتحقق حلم الفلاسفة الأقدمين في المدينة الفاضلة. Early philosophers had the idea of utopia. Madinatul Fadila, an ideal society. This could have happened. This is not that much idealistic. If we really take these steps seriously, we can have it in this world. Maybe we cannot stop some of the natural problems, like earthquake. Although it's likely that even many of these things are because of our bad behavior and bad treatment of the earth. But Maybe still some problems remain, but at least as-sa'adatul ijtima'iyya, at least in our social relations, we could have the best scenario. What do you like? You like to be safe, you like to be respected, you like everyone to be treating you and treating others with respect, with honor, with dignity, to be truthful to each other. This is heaven in dunya. Of course, we cannot have perfect heaven in dunya, but as much as dunya can be heaven, it's this. فما احتاجوا حينما يتبادلون الحب والمودة إلى الحكومات والمحاكم ولا إلى الشرطة والسجون ولا إلى قانون للعقوبات وأحكام للحدود والقصاص. If they were observing this, there was no need for having courts and prisons and police and army and judiciary system, different types of punishment, penal code of law. وَلَمَا خَضَعُوا لِمُسْتَعْمِرٍ, they would not have been accepting colonialism. وَلَا خَنَعُوا لِلْجَبَّارِ, no tyrants would be able to have them obedient. وَلَا اسْتَبَدَّ بِهِمُ الطُّغَاةُ وَلَا تَبَدَّلَتِ الْأَرْضُ غَيْرَ الْأَرْضِ وَأَصْبَحَتْ جَنَّةَ النَّعِيمِ وَدَارَ السَّعَادَةِ. The arrogance, the Tawqat would not be able to rule on them as they wish, and this would become a heaven. Jannat al-Na'im wa Dar al-Sa'adah, the heaven of the blessings and the abode of happiness. Then he says, أزيدك أن قانون المحبة الوسادة بين البشر كما يريده الدين بتعاليم الأخوة لانمحت من قاموس لغاتنا كلمة العدل. He says something even more than that. He says, if we were observing the law of love and affection and kindness, even the term justice would have disappeared from our dictionaries, because we are operating on higher level than justice. Justice is just the minimum. When you are operating at the level of ihsan and mahabbah, kindness and love, justice is too basic. بمعنى أننا لم نعد نحتاج إلى العدل وقوانينه حتى نحتاج إلى استعمال كلمته. We would not have any need for justice and the laws of bringing people to justice, so that we wouldn't have used the term justice. بل كفانا قانون الحب لنشر الخير والسلام. It was enough for us to have the love of love, so that we can spread goodness and peace all over. And then was sa'ada, also happiness and felicity, wal hana, to enjoy. إلا إذا فقد الحب في من يجب أن يعدل معه. Yes, only when there is no love, then the question of justice comes. At least we should observe justice. But when there's a love between two brothers, between father and son, between, mother and daughter, parents and children in general, siblings, friends, brothers, sisters in faith, we are operating on a much higher level of mahabbah. So he says here, we compromise about even our own raghabat, whatever we enjoy and we prefer, because of what? بدافع من الحب, with the motivation of love. والرغبة and طيب الخاطر, when I am even sacrificing my comfort, my joy, my pleasure, my money, my time for my brothers and sisters, I don't feel pain. unless we reach this point that we consider them as part of us and we don't feel we are losing, we have not achieved really the core of Islam. The core of Islam is to reach the point that you no longer feel you are doing charity. You no longer feel that you are doing something great because you are just loving people and helping people. You look for opportunities to do this. Not that you think that this is a burden, it's an obligation which has some sense of heaviness. لا بدافع العدل والمصلحة. It should not be because of justice and saying, okay, interest, our long-term interest requires that we should help each other because tomorrow I may need also them. No, this is too little. Of course, I wish at least we had observed this basic level, but Islamically, this is too little to consider your long-term interest and adl, requirements of justice. This is a minimum, but not that much. Similar to what we expect from a moment. A moment operates much higher. It's like, for example, we say, we expect angels not to do zulm to each other. We expect angels not to tell lies, not to, come and kill people and, rob people and loot. This is what you expect from angels. It seems that you have not understood angels if you think that you can have such things as expectation. These are too basic. Too basic. It's like, for example, someone says, I expect from ice not to add to our heat. Of course, ice would not add to it. Ice actually cool you down. وسر ذلك أن الإنسان لا يحب إلا نفسه وما يلائم نفسه ويستحيل أن يحب شيئا أو شخصا خارجا عن ذاته إلا إذا ارتبط به وانطبعت في نفسه منه صورة ملائمة مرغوبة لديه. Here Sheikh Muzaffar goes into moral philosophy, the idea of حب الذات. Those of you who have followed our lectures on Akhlaq in the Hose, in the first year we talked about حب الذات, and also in some other places. The common view among Muslim thinkers and many other thinkers who have more kind of Aristotelian approach and scholastic approach, religious approach, is that all our actions are because of self-love, because of حب الذات. We do something when we find them to be useful for us, but not in the short term so that we become selfish. It can be in the long term so that you can be actually sacrificing many of your short-term interests, but you know that in the long term is better for you. Even, for example, someone who gives his life, he knows that it's better for him in the long term. I have another opinion. My humble opinion is that self-love is there, but we have also other basic desires. But even for self-love, which is actually for most of people maybe the ultimate motive, and everything goes back to this for most of people, the reason that Sheikh Muzaffar mentions this here is to say that if you reach the point that you see others part of yourself and their interests part of your own interests, then you can love easily. Otherwise, you may feel it has nothing to do with me, or it's not at least a priority for me. Either you don't feel any need for that, or you say, there is a need, but it's not a priority. I have other things to look after, my own interests. كما يستحيل أن يضحي بمحض اختياره له في رغباته ومحبوباته لأجل شخص آخر لا يحبه ولا يرغب فيه. It's impossible that you sacrifice just by your own choice without any reason. You sacrifice for someone who has nothing to do with you. You don't love him, you don't have any interest in that person, and then you sacrifice your interest for that person's interest. It's impossible. There must be a connection. Of course, we believe to be Muslims is enough. Even we believe that to be human beings is enough. To be creatures of Allah is enough to make us concerned and connected with each other. But some people don't have this understanding. So they have to work on their aqidah. إلا إذا تكونت عنده عقيدة أقوى من رغباته. Unless a belief takes form in him which is higher and stronger than his own interests and his own, desires. مثل عقيدة حسن العدل والإحسان. For example, even a person who is not very religious or a person who is religious, both of them can share this, that they would have firm belief in goodness of justice, goodness of ihsan, kindness. Because these are things that even non-religious people appreciate, or at least are expected to appreciate, because we believe in husn qubh dhati and aqli. We believe that goodness and badness are objective and are intrinsic. So, إذ يضحي بإحدى رغباته إنما يضحي لأجل رغبة أخرى أقوى كعقيدته بالعدل. So, if you reach that point, then you say, okay, I would overcome my own interest because of someone else, because I want to achieve adl, or I want to achieve ihsan. I have greater desire for ihsan and adl than a desire that I have in this small thing that I am losing or sacrificing or giving away. وهذه العقيدة المثالية لأجل أن تتكون في نفس الإنسان تتطلب منه أن يسمو بروحه على الاعتبارات المادية. This ideal belief or idealistic belief, not idealistic in the negative sense, means the belief which is about ideals, if is going to take form and shape in us, it needs that we should raise our spirit above physical and worldly considerations. Something more than money and food and drink and house, etc. ليدرك المثل الأعلى في العدل والإحسان إلى الغير, or المثل الأعلى. So that maybe مثل is better. So that he would understand the highest examples or the highest parables in justice and kindness to others. And this is for someone that maybe is not able to understand brotherhood. So at least we say, okay, try to get into the level of appreciating justice and ihsan. But inshallah later he should reach the point that would understand that we are all brothers and sisters. We belong to the same family. Even justice is too little. When it comes between father and, for example, child, or mother and child, is the matter of justice? Or is a matter of one party wanting the best for the other, even they are happy to give, their life for each other? فأول درجات المسلم التي يجب أن يتصف بها أن يحصل عنده الشعور بالأخوة مع الآخر. The first ranks of Islam, the first degrees that a Muslim must achieve, because Imam Sadiq says this is the simplest, the most simple right, is to understand deeply, strongly this brotherhood. Ash-shu'ur. Shu'ur means a kind of understanding which is very strong and very personal, very intimate, as if it touches your hair. It comes from sha'r and shu'ur. Shu'ur is for understanding something very detailed, very specifically, and it's so close that maybe it's like touching your skin, like touching your hair, or at least very subtle like hair. فإذا عجز عنها وهو عاجز على الأكثر. If he is not able to do so, and unfortunately many times أكثر means most of the time they are not able, it's why لقلبة رغباته الكثيرة. It's because we have many other things, many other desires, many other priorities that overcome this. وأنانيته, ego, because of ego. فعليه أن يكون في نفسه عقيدة في العدل والإحسان. So he must develop in himself belief in justice and kindness. اتباعا للإرشادات الإسلامية, according to Islamic instructions. فإذا عجز عن ذلك, even if he cannot do that, he cannot have brotherhood. Then we come down and say justice and kindness. He cannot even have that as a major element in his heart and soul. Then فلا يستحق أن يكون مسلما إلا بالاسم. Such person we cannot consider him as Muslim except by name. وخرج عن ولاية الله, and he is no longer under the guardianship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, we will talk about it when we read the hadith of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Mu'mineen are under the guardianship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. الله ولي الذين آمنوا يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور والذين كفروا أولياؤهم الطاغوت. So you have to be mu'min so that you benefit from leadership and guardianship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Unfortunately, human beings, al-insan al-akthar, most of the time our shahawat, our lower desires are lost like a storm. They come and overcome other things. Therefore, one of the most difficult things would be for a human being أن يهيئ نفسه لقبول عقيدة العدل, to prepare himself for accepting the belief in justice, let alone to have عقيدة كاملة, to have a complete aqidah in adl to the extent that can overcome all his desires and shahawat. Even sometimes to accept we have difficulty, let alone let it be the perfect or the complete aqidah, full-fledged aqidah in us. We are people of justice. Shia and Mu'tazilites were known as Adliya. Although maybe some people say this was just a matter of theology, but Shia have showed in their history that no, it's not just a matter of theory. It's a matter of our practice as well. Justice must be always very important for us. And inshallah, we should go above justice and talk about mahabba, brotherhood. This is much more. فلذلك كان القيام بحقوق الأخوة من أشق تعاليم الدين إذا لم يكن عند الإنسان ذلك الشعور الصادق بالأخوة. Therefore, to implement the rights of the brothers and deliver the rights of the brothers has been one of the most difficult teachings of Islam, when there is no honest understanding of brotherhood, honest appreciation and understanding of brotherhood. This is why when Mu'alla ibn Khunais asked Imam Sadiq alayhi salam about the rights of the brothers, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam first wanted not to give him except very small and brief answer, because if Imam tells you and then you don't act upon it, you will be responsible. So Imam alayhi salam wanted to give him something simple, but he insisted and showed his readiness, so Imam gave him more. من أجل هذا أشفق الإمام أبو عبد الله الصادق عليه السلام أن يوضح لسائله وهو أحد أصحابه المعلى بن خنيس عن حقوق الإخوان أكثر مما ينبغي أن يوضح له. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, out of kindness and concern, didn't want to explain for the person who asked, who was one of the companions of Imam, known as Mu'alla ibn Khunais, didn't want to explain for him أكثر مما ينبغي أن يوضح, more than necessary, خشية أن يتعلم ما لا يستطيع أن يعمل به. And the worry was that he may learn from Imam something that he may not be able to implement. So Imam wanted to give him just something minimal, but he said, no, please give me more. قال المعلى بن خنيس says, قلت له ما حق المسلم على المسلم? What is the right of Muslim upon another Muslim? Or you can say, what are the rights of Muslims upon each other? قال أبو عبد الله عليه السلام, Imam Sadiq عليه السلام said, له سبعة حقوق واجبات. There are 7 obligatory rights. ما منهن حق إلا وهو عليه واجب. None of these 7 is except obligatory or but obligatory. Means all of them are wajib. إن ضيع منها شيئا خرج من ولاية الله وطاعته. If any Muslim disregards, ignores, fails to observe any of these, he would go out of wilayah of Allah, guardianship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لِلَّهِ فِيهِ النَّصِيبٌ. And there is nothing for Allah in him. Maybe it means that Allah has no interest in him. قُلْتُ لَهُ جُعِلْتُ فِدَاكَ وَمَا هِيَ. I said, Imam alayhi salam, may I be your ransom? What are those 7? قال يا معلى إني عليك شفيق أخاف أن تضيع ولا تحفظ وتعلم ولا تعمل. O Mu'alla, I am concerned about you. I am worried that you may not do justice with these 7. You may not preserve them. You may know but not practice. Mu'alla says, Mu'alla ibn Khunais, لا قلت لا قوة إلا بالله. I said to Imam alayhi salam, there is no power except from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Means, inshallah, I do my best and I ask Allah for help and I am going to observe them inshallah. وحينئذ ذكر الإمام الحقوق السبعة. Then Imam alayhi salam mentioned those 7 rights which are necessary, which are obligatory. Of course, maybe from a fiqhi point of view, you can check with your marja that, for example, if someone doesn't observe this, would it be a sin or not? But Imam is very clear that this is necessary. Sometimes certain things might be difficult to translate them into the language of law, but they are very, very fundamental. You must not compromise about akhlaq and the necessity of some instructions in akhlaq. If, for example, in fiqhi approach, we don't say this is a sin that you deserve to go to heaven if you don't, for example, avoid it, and you don't tubah. So please be very careful about this issue. For fiqhi guidance, we refer to our maraja, but this is question of aqidah and akhlaq and something which is so fundamental that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, by not observing this, we will go out of the wilayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, the first one is this. أيسر حق منها أن تحب له كما تحب لنفسك. To love for him what you love for yourself. وتكره له ما تكره لنفسك. Don't like for him what you don't like for yourself. Then Sheikh Muzaffar says, Ya Subhanallah, هذا هو الحق اليسير. May Allah be glorified. This is the minimum. This is the easiest. فكيف نجد نحن المسلمين اليوم يسر هذا الحق علينا. Is this really easy for us today? We call ourselves Muslims, but do we observe even the least of the requirements of being a Muslim about the rights of each other? And then he says, وَالْأَعْجَبْ أَنْ يُلْصَقَ بِالْإِسْلَامِ هَذَا التَّأَخُّرَ الَّذِي أَصَابَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. What is more surprising is that some people attach this backwardness, this lack of advancement and lack of development in Muslim countries, they unfortunately attach it to Islam, attribute it to Islam. Where is Islam practiced? Show me one place that Islam is completely practiced and they are not the best in everything, so that we can complain Islam. Yes, there are many Muslims everywhere. If there are Christians, doesn't mean Christianity is observed. If there are Jews, doesn't mean Judaism is observed. If there are Hindus, doesn't mean Hinduism is observed. You have to look at their teaching. If what they do is what they have been taught, yes, then you can say their religion is present there. We don't see anywhere in the Muslim world that Islam is completely practiced and implemented. Sheikh Muzaffar says, وَالْأَعْجَبْ أَنْ يُلْصَقَ بِالْإِسْلَامِ هَذَا التَّأَخُّرَ الَّذِي أَصَابَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Especially, as I said many times, remember, it's about 60 years ago that he wrote this. And the situation of the Ummah was worse than now. Not that much horizons for or openings for new, fresh approach to Islam and bringing Islam to the middle of social life. وَمَا الذَّنْبُ إِلَّا ذَنْبُ مَنْ يُسَمُّونَ أَنفُسَهُمْ بِالْمُسْلِمِينَ وَلَا يَعْمَلُونَ بِأَيْسَرِ مَا يَجِبُ أَنْ يَعْمَلُوهُ مِنْ دِينِهِمْ. The sin is sin of the people who call themselves Muslims and they don't act even the easiest thing that is necessary to be acted upon. وَلَأَجْلِ التَّارِيخِ فَقَط وَلَنَعْرِفَ أَنفُسَنَا وَتَقْصِيرَهَا. He says, in order to register this in the history and in order to see how much we have acted upon this and how much we are muqassir, how much we have, guilt and shortcomings. أذكر هذه الحقوق السبعة التي أوضحها الإمام عليه السلام. I mention these 7 rights that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam has mentioned in this hadith. So, number 1, تحب لأخيك المسلم ما تحب لنفسك وتكره له ما تكره لنفسك. We already explained this. To love for your brother what you love for yourself, and to dislike for him what you dislike for yourself. Number 2, أن تجتنب سخطه وتتبع مرضاته وتطيع أمره. Beautiful. To avoid his anger, try to please your brother, your sister, and to obey. Because wilaya, as we have explained in the discussion about social wilaya, one element of wilaya is obedience. And obedience doesn't require for wilaya to be from top to the bottom, that the one who is on the top, we obey him and demands obedience. No, it's also vertical. Horizontal. Vertical and horizontal. المؤمنون والمؤمنات بعضهم أولياء بعض. All believers are wali for each other, and therefore يأمرون بالمعروف. Why you can do أمر معروف? Because you have the right to be obeyed. Of course, the other party also has the right to be obeyed. The main thing is who is with the truth. Whoever is with the truth should be obeyed. And because we are tawasaw bil haq, we should enjoin also to observe the truth. So we can also say, you must listen to the truth. But with honesty, not, for selfish, reasons that, we want something for ourselves. Number 3, أن تعينه بنفسك ومالك ولسانك ويدك ورجلك, to help your brother with yourself, your life, your money, your tongue. Sometimes your words can help your brother with your hand, with your foot. Sometimes you have to go to walk, to go somewhere, to meet someone, to take him somewhere. Number 4, أن تكون عينه ودليله ومرآته, to be like his eyes, his guide, like a mirror in which he can see himself. With the eyes you see others mostly. With the mirror you see yourself. Although even for mirror you need eye, but when these are used, put in next to each other, so maybe eye means to look outside, and mir'at means to look inside. Consider what is wrong with you. My brother can tell me. Al-mu'minu mir'atul mu'min. Number 5, Allah tashba'a wa yaju'. You shouldn't be enjoying food and your brother is hungry. Your stomach is full and his stomach is empty. You have enough drink and he's thirsty. You have enough clothes and he is not well dressed. Number 6, أن يكون لك خادم وليس لأخيك خادم فواجب أن تبعث خادمك فتغسل ثيابه وتصنع طعامه وتمهد فراشه. If you have helpers, if you have servants, if you have helpers, if you have a car, you have a driver, I don't know, there is something that you have and it's extra and you can help your brother. I have for example, washing machine my brother doesn't have, so I can offer him. Even maybe I can, take and wash for him. He needs, for example, to go somewhere. I have a car, I have a driver, I can send him to help him. Number 7, أن تبر قسمه وتجيب دعوته وتعود مريضه وتشهد جنازته. If he makes a qasam, he swears by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, accept. If he invites you, accept the invitation. If he becomes ill, visit him. If, God forbids, he dies, attend his funeral. Or maybe if some of his dear ones die, attend the funeral. Because janazatahu first means his own funeral, but maybe also funeral that belongs to him. وَإِذَا عَلِمْتَ لَهُ حَاجَةً, if you know he has a need, تبادره إلى قضائها ولا تلجئه إلى أن يسألكها ولكن تبادره مبادرة. When you know your brother has a need, you should go before he comes and asks, you should go and offer. Let his reputation and honor and dignity remain. Don't say, if he asks me, I will give him. No. If you know that he has need, first go yourself and offer. Then Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, فَإِذَا فَعَلْتَ ذَلِكَ وَصَلْتَ وِلَايَتَكَ بِوِلَايَتِهِ وَوِلَايَتَهُ بِوِلَايَتِكَ. If you act upon these 7 things, you have connected your wilaya to his wilaya and his wilaya to your wilaya. Or wasalat wilayatuka. It can be wasalta or wasalat. The meaning is the same. Wilaya is not something between every person and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wilaya is something that should exist also between us. My wilaya between me and Allah and the Prophet and Imam cannot exist without my wilaya with my brothers and sisters. So we have to be observing all these things in order to have proper guardianship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وبمضمون هذا الحديث روايات مستفيضة عن أئمتنا. Similar to the content of this hadith, we have many hadiths from Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. جمع قسما كبيرا منها كتاب الوسائل. Wasail Shia by the late Sheikh Hurra Ahmadi has put together many of the hadiths from Ahlul Bayt about this issue of brotherhood and the rights. And then he says, maybe a person thinks that this is only for people of your own madhab. For example, this is only for the Shia, not for all Muslims. He says, no, this is for all Muslims. And then he says, it's enough to read this hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam that Muawiyah ibn Wahab has quoted. He says, I told Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, كيف ينبغي لنا أن نصنع فيما بيننا وبين قومنا وبين خلطائنا من الناس ممن ليسوا على أمرنا. How should we act with people from our own family, for example, or people that we are mixed with them, but they don't have the same path as us, the same affiliation as us. They're not on the same, denominational background like us. ليسوا على أمرنا. They are not following this affair, means wilaya. Imam alayhi salam said, تنظرون إلى أئمتكم الذين تقتدون بهم. You should look at your imams that you follow them. فتصنعون ما يصنعون. You should do what they do. So you look at your imams that you follow and do what they do. فَبَاللَّهِ, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, in order to leave no doubt, he says, فَبَاللَّهِ إِنَّهُمْ لَيَعُودُونَ مَرْضَاهُم. Your imams visit the ill people of non-Shia Muslims. Of course, they even visit, if a non-Muslim becomes ill. But here the question was about Sunni Shia. وَيَشْهَدُونَ جَنَائِزَهُم. Your imams attend their funerals. وَيُقِيمُونَ الشَّهَادَةَ لَهُمْ وَعَلَيْهِمْ. If they have a testimony to offer. Two people, for example, they have an issue. One party is right, one is wrong, and you can bear your witness. So Imams alayhi salam, they bear their witness. Maybe for this person, against that person, it doesn't matter. The truth, the justice is witnessed and offered. وَيُعَدُّونَ الْأَمَانَةَ إِلَيْهِمْ. And they deliver the trust back to them. This is the example of your imams, and you should follow this example. Yes, when it comes to the Shia themselves, we have to go even further. أَمَّا الْأُخُوَّةُ الَّتِي يُرِيدُهَا الْأَئِمَّةُ مِنْ أَتْبَاعِهِمْ فَهِيَ أَرْفَعُ مِنْ هَذِهِ الْأُخُوَّةِ الْإِسْلَامِيَّةِ. It's more than this brotherhood that we want among all Muslims. He says, you have already heard some of the hadiths when we talked about the definition of the Shia. And it's enough here to read this conversation between Aban ibn Taghlib and Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. And Aban ibn Taghlib himself is explaining this. Aban ibn Taghlib says, I was doing tawaf around Kaaba with Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. And then one of our people, one of our brothers, Shia brothers, came, and he says, he pointed at me in the way that I understood he has a need. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam looked at me and him, both of us, and said, Ya Aban, iyyaka yuridu hadha. This person wants you. Does this person want you? He said, I said, yes. Imam Sadiq says, Huwa ala mithla ma anta alay. Does he share the same aqidah as you? I said, yes. Imam said, فَاذْهَبْ إِلَيْهِ وَقْتَ التَّوَافِ. This is tawaf of Hajj. He could have waited till he finishes tawaf and then go and see him. But Imam says, go now. Maybe he's in emergency situation, or maybe, for example, you cannot find him later, anything, you have to go quickly. Aban says, I told Imam, وَإِنْ كَانَ طَوَافُ الْفَرِيضَةِ, even if it is wajib tawaf. Imam said, yes. Aban says, okay, I went. And then after that, I asked Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, after I finished, my work with my brother and helped him, whatever. Then Imam alayhi salam, I met him, and he says, I said to Imam alayhi salam, what is the right of mu'min? Imam said, leave this question. I kept asking Imam alayhi salam. Imam said, Ya Aban tuqasimuhu shatra malik. Oh Aban, you share with him part of your money. And then Imam looked at Aban, and Aban says, Imam saw that I am surprised, I am shocked, and said, Ya Aban, ama ta'alam anna Allah qad dhakara al-mu'thirina ala anfusihim. Don't you know that Allah in the Quran says there are mu'mineen yu'thiruna ala anfusihim walau kana bihim khasasa? I said, yes, there is ithar. I know the ayah. Imam said, actually, إِذَا أَنْتَ قَاسَمْتَهُ فَلَمْ تُؤْثِرْهُ. If you give part of your money, distribute your money between you and your brother, you have not done ithar. This is muwasat. This is not ithar. إِنَّمَا تُؤْثِرُ إِذَا أَنْتَ أَعْطَيْتَهُ مِنَ النِّصْفِ الْآخَرِ. When you give from your own portion to him, this is ithar. And something that you need, you give to him, that is ithar. Sheikh Muzaffar says, our embarrassing situation and reality would not let us call ourselves really mu'min. فَنَحْنُ بِوَادٍ وَتَعَالِيمُ أَئِمَّتِنَا فِي وَادٍ آخَرٍ. We are in one valley, the teaching of Prophet in another valley. It means we are going one way, they are going another way. وَمَا دَاخَلَ نَفْسَ أَبَانْ يُدَاخِلُ نَفْسَ كُلِّ قَارٍ. The surprise, astonishment, shock that Aban had, we also have. Every person today reads this hadith would feel the same. فَيَصْرِفُ بِوَجْهِ مُتَنَاسِيًا لَهُ كَأَنَّ الْمُخَاطَبْ غَيْرُهُ. مع الأسف, unfortunately, we are reading this hadith and then we leave and say, maybe they meant some other people, it was not for us. وَلَا يُحَاسِبُ نَفْسَهُ حِسَابَ رَجُلٍ مَسْئُولٍ. And we don't bring ourselves to questioning why you are not observing this. Alhamdulillah, this discussion finished. But I would like to offer a midterm solution. I'm not saying we should compromise, but I'm saying at least we can begin with some people. If we cannot be with all Muslims, with all the Shia like this, at least we should find few people outside our family. With them we can establish this trust and this relation. If you cannot establish this with everyone, begin with some people. You cannot say in the whole world, I don't know anyone other than my, for example, father and brother and uncle and cousins. No, someone that just because of faith you are connected to each other. Find few people and try to be available for them, help them, support them. They may do the same with you, but you don't make it condition. And inshallah, then little by little, we can learn how to expand it to other people. But at least this is the minimum that shows that we have that much of iman that helps us to love only for the sake of Allah, not for any blood relation or any history that we share or any language that we share. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with you. Iltimas du'a. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.